This is Rob Howden, the voice of the Mazda Road to Indy, and you're listening to the Indy Sports Car Podcast.
Welcome, ICP fans, to another episode of the Indy Sports Car Podcast. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Frank. What's going on?
Not much. Thanks for joining me on this fine, I guess, Wednesday morning.
Yeah, now technically for me it's Wednesday morning now.
No, you're an hour behind me still, right? Because you moved north.
Yeah, I did move north. Actually, I'm in the Eastern time zone now as well, so technically I am, no, well, in New Orleans it would be almost Wednesday morning now.
Does it feel weird being an hour ahead like, pretty much everyone else in the country, and then a few scattered here and there out in the West?
Quite weird, I tell you what. It's been a big adjustment up here.
Do you feel jet lagged by just moving?
Nah, it's not so much jet lag from moving, although I didn't actually take a jet up here. It's mostly just trying to find a place for everything. That's the biggest challenge.
So how big's the new place here, buddy?
Really, it's just a room I moved into a friend's house up here in Noblesville, Indiana. It's a nice place.
Hey, I mean, as long as you're in Indiana, man, you're close enough, right?
Of course.
You're closer than me. Yeah, I just, I was, I don't know, I was messing around with a bunch of GPS apps, Can you believe, do you remember back in the day, I don't know if you do, but MapQuest, where you used to print maps out from the computer?
Yeah.
Directions, turn by turns.
Well, yeah, shout out to Google Maps for eliminating that.
Well, it's back. MapQuest is back. It's an app. It's a GPS app. It's a decent GPS app, I might add, too.
Does it work better than Apple Maps used to?
Apple Maps never really used to work good, but it does have traffic.
Just like Waze.
You like Waze?
Love it.
It almost promotes people to use their phone as they're driving.
Well, I have one of those things that I can put my phone on my vent, so I can actually have it on there right next to me, which I'm going to use it for when I go to the IndyCar race in Iowa this coming weekend.
Me too, but I don't have it on the. We have like 3 different. No, is it 3? Yeah, we have 3 different iPhone holders or whatever, phone holders. One iPhone is for the Google Maps, because I don't trust anything else but Google Maps with traffic navigation. It's gotten me through Chicago pretty well through rush hour, so I'm going to use that. So,
well, thankfully traffic in Des Moines won't be that bad.
No, from here to there, I mean, I can either go. Really, for some reason, it takes me almost to the freaking tip of the lake, and then kind of like right back down again. Or I can take another way that goes straight through, but a little bit to lower, I suppose. But that says it's like 27 minutes slower, and I'm like, how can that be? Like, I don't know.
Interstate all the way. But anyway, looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be an interesting weekend because we've got IndyCar, we got Indy Lights, and we have USF 2000. They're going to be running their only oval race of the season. And it's going to be interesting seeing if Oliver Askew can resume his superhuman ways in USF 2000 after a rather dismal weekend for him over there at Road America. Sad to say, he didn't do so well in the first race because of a mechanical issue, but the second race, finishing third, was a great way to cap off the weekend for him.
He got lucky.
Very, very true. Malukas was putting it on everybody for a while in the first race.
Yep. We were raving about him. Like, who?
Apparently, he does F4 over in Europe.
No kidding. I'll have to talk to Cameron Dawson about him.
Well, Cameron Dawson's not doing F3. From what I heard,
Is it
Malukas
free?
is.
You sure?
Yeah, he's doing
Okay.
British F3 for Carlin.
Right on. I mean, I knew he was doing it for Carlin. I didn't know if it was F3 or F4 because I know he did
British
F4
F3.
over here the year before. So
He's doing British F3. In fact, he actually won a race, I think.
he won in the first race, I believe. The first couple events, actually.
So he's doing Formula 4 in Germany, Malukas is, and he's also doing Formula 4 in the United Arab Emirates.
There's two different series.
Yeah, there's Formula 4 all over the place. Like they have it in France, although it's not officially FIA sanctioned. They have it in Italy, England, Japan, China,
Yep.
Italy, the Northern European zone, so like Denmark and Sweden and all, Russia, South Africa. I think that is getting an F4 championship if they don't have one already. Mexico has one. Yeah, it's all over.
Our buddy Bruno Carnero won the F4 Chinese championship last year, and that is FIA sanctioned. So there you go.
Yeah, the vast majority of them are.
As a matter of fact, I think this year's the last year that the SCCA has control over the Honda F4 here in the States, and the FIA will take it over next year. So
Did not know that.
yeah, I mean that was the plan from the jump. I don't know if it's still the plan because I haven't looked it up lately, but that's what they said last year before Cameron Dawson won the championship. I don't know how much, but I guess we will see. We will see.
So looking forward also to this weekend. We also have Indy. I mentioned Indy Lights earlier. Carlin's won the last three races with Zeku Clement de Mello and Matthias Leist. They've been on fire recently. They won at Iowa Speedway back in 2015 with Max Chilton. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do this year. And I think last year, I think they actually also won last year with I want to say it was Felix Sorales that won.
Yeah, they did the whole Carlin team up, and Zach Veach finished second. Remember?
Absolutely. I'm just trying to remember which Carlin car was that held him up. I think it was Alberico.
I was gonna say I think it was Alberico got second, and no, Alberico was running block, and Sorales got second, I believe. I don't know that you were there with us in the media room. Wasn't that one of the most tension-filled media rooms until Molster asked some weird question and kind of broke the ice about Stoneman?
2016, I actually wasn't there. I was there in 2015, though, when Max Chilton got his win. That was the weekend that Jules Bianchi actually passed away.
Oh, boy, yeah, you're right, it was. Yep,
He had to make a sacrifice. I figure if I don't go to Iowa, I can go to Mid-Ohio. And to be frank...
What?
Yeah. Well, let's face it, given the fact that Pro Mazda canceled their Iowa race last year, I ended up making the right move by going to Mid-Ohio instead. Because if you look at it, Mid-Ohio is where all of the, it's where two of the Indy Mazda Road Indy championships really became solidified. Because Pato didn't do so well at Mid-Ohio and allowed Aaron to get even further of a lead in Pro Mazda. And USA 2000, when Parker Thompson had his issue, that allowed Anthony Martin to just pull out an even further lead that he had.
Yep, I remember that, man. That was a crazy weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Very crazy weekend, actually. And that was the whole RC right after the RC Enerson. Well, not the RC Enerson thing, but his and Sam Schmidt, that whole thing. Remember that?
I do, and he did very well for Joe Quinn Racing. Unfortunately, he had a issue where I think he ran out of fuel heading to his first pit stop.
You know why? Because they told him to pit right too late as he was apexing that last hairpin where tags got spun out by I forget who. I think his name was Smith or something.
Regan Smith?
Yeah, him. He it was the Nationwide, or, I don't know if they call them Nationwide anymore.
Xfinity.
Is that what they call them now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. The junior level to the N-word. Regan Smith was in second. Tags passed him fair and square. Yeah, it was a great pass, too. Nice and clean. Took over the lead. Last lap, last turn. Turned Tags right around, did the old bump and run, and won the race. And then he celebrated like he just, won the Daytona 500. Remember that?
Doesn't surprise me. I didn't actually see the race live. I had to see the replay of it because I think I was working at the time.
Oh, it was something, man. Like we were fuming. We were like, look at this crap, And I actually had a buddy of mine who is like all about ovals and dirt track racing and all that. So he kind of falls into that. I mean, you figure IndyCar fans, sports car kind of fits, right? Well, for that kind of racing, it's more like dirt tracks and stuff and whatever. So, but we had him on to talk about it. Yep, it wasn't a debate. It was more or less like a, why the heck did he do that? And there was no like race control at all, like calling that. And they said it was clean and everything. How's that clean? But he kind of explained it the right way. So, but that was actually a pretty good show. So, check that out in the library, guys. So anyway, moving on. Looking ahead, dude, Iowa. Now, this will be our third year there. This will be your third year, right? But you were there the year before we were. Awesome place. I mean, it's one of our favorite tracks to go to. It's the furthest track that we go to through during the whole year. It's a 16+ hour drive for us, and but you know what? It's worth every hour of it when you get there. I'll tell you what.
The thing about Iowa that I think is so unique is that it's basically a short track that drives like a super speedway because you're turning laps here over 180 miles an hour. It's kind of like Phoenix, but at Iowa there's so much more physical forces acting on your body because of how high the banking is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember because last year we got to do that Vet and Camaro drive around, and I think you like missed it because you weren't in the media room when they were passing out the tickets or something. Right?
I think so. It might have been. I don't think I was there at the time.
Right. No, yeah, that's right. You weren't. You were there last year. It was just the year before.
No, last year I wasn't.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. So
Frank Linker, everybody.
I'm scatterbrained. I'm sorry. Missy's feeling a little bit under the weather. Happy 4th of July, everybody. By the way, or 5th of July. May the 4th be with you. Till next year, I guess. And you saw some fireworks tonight. How were they?
Yeah, pretty good. Hopefully we'll see some more fireworks on track this coming weekend, especially when you consider the fact that this will be Esteban Gutierrez's first ever oval race. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. He has a massive amount of respect now for oval drivers, and it's going to be great to see how he progresses throughout the weekend, especially when you saw his comments, all drivers should try ovals at least once.
Yeah, because everybody talks a bunch of S until they do it, and then they go, I take everything that I said back.
It's not as easy as it seems. I think I'll have to go back to what Alonso Jr. said at the Mazda Road Indy Oval Clinic that a buddy of mine went to. He said, road course racing is 80% physical, 20% mental. Oval racing is 80% mental, 20% physical.
Right. Do you have that backwards?
No. Oval racing is a lot more mental than it is physical.
Okay, because I'll tell you what, I was smushed up against the door of the Camaro that I was in when we were doing 130.
Well, the thing is that, because you're going, sorry, we're recording this very, very late. When you look at how you're going on an oval, there's only one direction that your body is turning. On a road course, you're going, constant acceleration, deceleration, gear changes. And on an oval like Iowa, you're turning your wheel really in one direction. and you got to really trust that the guy that's alongside of you is going to keep his line. That's why it's more mental than it is physical.
That is very true. And, do you think that was like the undoing for like a driver like Sage Karam? He just couldn't, he just really could not get the racecraft down of an oval.
I disagree. He finished third at Iowa in 2015, so clearly he knows how to work his way around an oval. The problem is that working around a road and street course was his Achilles heel 2 years ago.
Okay, fair enough.
On an oval, he's actually really good. As long
aggressive.
as he has good.
I remember that.
Well, sometimes you have to be aggressive. Sometimes they can work against you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works against you.
Yeah. Because I remember a lot of people complaining that he was just too aggressive the whole time instead of picking and choosing when he, should be aggressive and should be, let the guy go by you kind of deal. But
well, if you're a race driver, you don't have to want to let anyone go by you. So
yeah, it's true. It's very true. I'm just repeating what I heard, other drivers say during meeting or interviews about it. Excuse me. But Newgarden put on a clinic last year. Remember that? That was amazing.
That was. Some people say domination is boring. I would argue that domination can be exciting depending on who is doing it. When you look at Ed Carpenter racing last year with Newgarden doing it, that was pure entertainment because no one in their right mind would have expected to see an Ed Carpenter racing car do the kind of thing that he did.
I'll tell you what, it was very exciting, and dude, Ryan Hunter-Reay had this giant fireball come out the back of his car down the backstretch, and Missy and I are sitting in the back of our SUV that we parked. We kind of like backed it up to the infield, but to like the to the back, so we've seen them coming off of turn 2, going into turn 3, and there goes Ryan Hunter-Reay. I'm like, whoa. That was really
the perfect metaphor for the season because he said at media day it was a season of missed opportunities, and when you look at how his season went at the track where he scored his last win, all of a sudden you see a fireball at the back of his car. It's like, oh, gee, thanks,
dude, and it's pretty much continued right into this year. It hasn't stopped.
No, it really hasn't. When you look at Indianapolis and the fact that he had a car that was leading for a good portion and a car that was in the top 5 when his engine blew up, it's really continued. This is, I think, his longest winless streak since before he got his. God, I can't remember when they had a winless streak like this.
Yeah, and I mean, he is a top tier driver. Don't make no mistakes about it. Ryan Hunter-Reay's got a lot of talent. I mean, on that team, would you argue he's like the number 1 driver on that team right now?
I would argue he's 1A. I would argue right now that Sato, because he won Indy, is 1. I would argue that Ryan is 1A.
That's fair enough. But then again, you don't really see. Oh no, that's not true. You normally don't see, but as of late, Sato's in the mix all the time. Lately.
Yeah, he is. He's done a good job this year, especially winning Indy. I mean, let's face it, any driver wins Indy, they do a good job for the year automatically.
Yeah, and that's 2 years in a row for him.
Andretti, that is, yeah.
That's right. I mean, so do you think Ryan Hunter-Reay is like, you think he bounces back this race, and this is the race that kind of, because, I mean, at one point we were calling this, Ryan Hunter-Reay's track, basically. I mean,
really, Andretti Autosport track, because they've won almost every single race there. I think there's only might have been 2 races that they haven't won. It was Newgarden last year, and there might have been one other, but they've just owned the place outright.
I mean, tell me about it. But yeah, and like you said, it depends who it is, and you know what? No truer words could be said about domination like that. He lapped the entire field twice by the time he finished. It was crazy, dude. It was really exciting. There was a lot of passing going on by just a new car.
The sad thing is that he could have finished a lap or two up if there wouldn't have been any cautions because of the wave around rule that they have before the pit stops. A lot of the people were able to get their laps back.
That's true.
If it was like iRacing where you couldn't, if like let's say like if I'm a lap down and I don't pit, sure I get the wave around, but I can't just pit before the green flag comes out. I think that was the big issue there. But I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen this weekend. I think, frankly, that if you're looking for a driver to have a breakout performance, Hunter Ray is going to be a good guy to look out for. Although, if you're looking for someone to get their first win, I would put my money on J.R. Hildebrand because he did a great job at Phoenix when he only had one hand to drive with.
Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, yeah, he was one of the, well, I think he had a flat at one point. But there was so much carbon fiber everywhere. I mean,
especially after the first turn accident.
Exactly. So, yeah, what are you going to do, It just seems like, I don't know, it's definitely going to be, I think whoever wins this, J.R. Hildebrand has just as much of a chance than anybody, of course, but who knows? Who really knows? But now he's with Penske now. I think Honda has the advantage on these kind of tracks.
Penske has never won at Iowa.
Never?
Never.
No kidding. Well,
this is an Andretti Autosport track. I think they've won every race except for, like I said, 2 or 3.
That is really, you know what? I come to think of it, I can't. I'm trying to think of it. Well, except for Carpenter,
I have the list right here in front of me. Weldon and Franchitti won in 08 and 09. Then Franchitti also won in 07 for Andretti Green, but then it was Kanaan, Marco, surprising, Hunter Ray, Hinchcliffe, Hunter Ray for Andretti. Andretti won this race 6 years in a row.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was Hunter Ray. Hunter Ray. And Marco, Hunter Ray. Yeah. And what year is that for Marco? Was that 11?
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, because we met up with our buddies Indy camping at Road America.
Happy Marco-versary.
Yeah, they had it on the front of the golf cart. They also made a new one. It's Hinchcliffe saying "so adorable," and they had TK, a little caricature of TK on a cannonball or a wrecking ball. That's what it was. Poor TK. Yeah,
Nice.
I think he's getting a lot. I mean, now, do you think Rossi had, everything to do with TK crashing there?
I think he might have had a little bit to do with it. I think Rossi was kind of also ticked off at Tony Kanaan for what he did at Texas, and I guess wanted to kind of hold his ground a little bit. But at the end of the day, I mean, TK took out a lot of good cars at Texas, and I think that someone was going to try and stand up to him and say, hey, you know what, you shouldn't have done that. And that's I think what the point was of Rossi doing that, was saying, hey, I'm going to stand up to this guy.
So yeah, that's true. I mean, Rossi won't take any responsibility for it. He's already been he's already talked to about it. He's like, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do with it. It's like, that's a bold statement there, buddy. But hey, you had a better look at it than I did, I suppose. So so you really, so you think J.R. Hildebrand has the best chance because you figure.
I figure he did. He did the testing for Newgarden's setup last year, number one, and the next thing is that he did a great job at Phoenix with just one hand because he had a broken hand. So, what's to stop him from doing this again?
Yeah, J.R. Hildebrand in a Penske. I mean, just Newgarden. Yeah, just Newgarden in a Penske, maybe. Maybe not.
Uh, no, I tell you what, you get a good car with a good setup, anyone can do it. I mean, hell, back in 2011, Jerry Hildebrand finished fourth out there at Iowa, so I mean, he knows his way around the place.
That's true. And you know, I mean, I've been saying that these 7/8, banked ovals, I think is perfect for IndyCar. It really doesn't bunch them all up, but it promotes a lot of passing, and I think as long as what do you think is the best line around this track? You think if you can keep it low or if you can keep it high?
If you can keep it in the middle of the track, and of course, this is completely unscientific because I drove I actually did do a race on iRacing recently. Doing this, by keeping the car in the middle, I didn't burn out my tires, and I was able to actually keep a decent pace the whole way through. And some guys that ran the low line constantly, their tires fall off like a cliff. So for me, running the middle line actually did a lot of wonders for me.
Okay, I mean, well, it is a sim. We know that. And
hey, some drivers actually use it to practice. So I mean,
some, a lot. I mean, I remember we were talking to Robert McGinnis, and he actually had the Van Diemen and like all these different tracks and everything that they like actually made like with code and everything. I don't know how they did that, but it's pretty.
They might have done
cool.
it with like R Factor 2 or Project Cars.
Yeah, but it was for iRacing.
The Van Diemen has never been scanned for iRacing. He might have been using like a Formula Renault car. I know of several people that post like iRacing stories to Instagram or whatever. They're running the Formula Renault car.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I'm just going off what he said. That he was able to. He's got the code and everything, and like But what do I know? I know nothing about computers. All I know is that tomorrow I'm going to go check out a gaming computer. I don't know. I might be calling you tomorrow with some questions.
Well, making sure you know I am working tomorrow. But anyway, going back to Iowa here. A couple of track facts about Iowa. It's a 7/8 mile oval. The first IndyCar race they had there was back in 2007, and something that I find really interesting, there is no outer concrete retaining wall. The safer barrier is actually the only wall on the outside of the track, and it's actually built onto or protruding from struts that are put into the ground. So that is the entire outer oval, outer ring of the speedway. And to my recollection, there are only 3 tracks in the country like that after reading Wikipedia. It was that track, Martinsville, and Atlanta Motor Speedway.
No kidding, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that you really don't even take into consideration, until somebody actually, walks away from a pretty bad one. You're like, wow, and then you hear about it, right?
Well, another thing about Iowa is that because you're almost constantly turning, I mean, it makes no sense to have safer barrier around almost the entire track and not the back straightaway when you consider how short the back straightaway is, So
It
by
is really
having,
short.
I mean, it's got to be like, I'm not even going to guess how short the back straightaway is, but I mean,
We figure the whole thing 7/8 of a mile to begin with.
a quarter of a mile at the most, maybe even a third.
Yeah, I mean, it is straight. That's much for sure. So they're not really turning in the back, but it's going at the speeds that they're going, it must be just such a quick straight that it doesn't even,
Kind of like the short shoots at Indianapolis. Like if you're going quick enough, it's like it's like the middle of a corner.
Yeah, it really is. That's about how long it is too. So yeah, there you go. That's a really good way to kind of just visualize it. I mean, and they go through 1 to 2 really quickly. So there you go. And I remember watching Zach Beach last year. Stick to the middle line, like you were saying. And
Yeah.
I didn't Beecham start on. I almost want to say he did start on pole last year.
That I don't know.
I just remember him being up front, and then all of a sudden he was just he got trained on the left and the right side by the low line and the high line, and they trained him all the way, almost to 3, and then all of a sudden 3, he just kind of, he I guess he got some speed, some air pressure underneath of him. Somebody helped him out in the back maybe, and then by the end of that lap, Veach was leading that race, and he was pretty much dominating that race right up to the end there. So that's why that was a really exciting race, and I'm really, really looking forward to USF 2000.
All right, predictions.
Predictions. Oh, good God, on USF.
All of them.
Okay, USF prediction: Parker Thompson won. I'm only saying this because I know Oliver Askew's been dominant this year. He had a little bit of a hiccup at Road America with his DNF race 1, but then podium race 2. But he really has no oval experience at all. This is his first one, so it's really hard to pick Oliver Askew for his first oval win on his first oval.
Which is why I'm going to.
I like it. So that's your prediction, huh?
Yep.
All right. How about 2-3? I mean, obviously Caitlin Frederick. I mean, as usual. P2.
I'm gonna say I say he's gonna finish 3rd with Renus in 2nd.
He's been really fast lately, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been. I'm looking forward to seeing what Renus is gonna do on the oval. Now they're supposed to have 3 hours of practice on Friday.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, we'll be there Saturday and Sunday, so we're gonna miss all the practices on Friday. But
yeah, same here. I'm leaving Saturday at very early in the morning, like almost midnight Friday night.
How far away is it for you?
Between 6 and 7 hours, I think.
Wow. And you're in Indiana. Oh, that makes me feel so not. Wow. That's a hell of a heck of a drive. It really is a heck of a drive. But it's, again, it's worth every hour that you're behind the wheel there. So, and as far as, the media centers go, top notch, top
Yeah, I remember
notch.
it being good.
Hey, I still have 2 stickers here. Home away from home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both, that's their logo. Home away from home, and then my name. That's pretty cool. I was kind of trying to think, where am I going to put this one? But I think I found a spot, though.
All right, so let's go to Indy Lights. What are you thinking?
I mean, it's tough to say not Mateus. It's tough not to say Mateus Lees, man. What he showed us at the Freedom 100. I mean, then he just backed that up with a win at Road America, race 1. So then I mean, and who we all knew that Clayman DeMello was fast, but I honestly did not see him winning race 2. That was a big surprise. So who knows? I mean, I'm going to put some money on. It's definitely going to be a Carlin. It's definitely going to be a Carlin car. There's 3 of them out there.
4 of them.
Is there 4 of them?
Yeah, there's Clayman DeMello, Mateus Leist, Neil Barrico, and
Who's got 3rd or 4th?
Clayman DeMello, Leist, Arthur Cards.
Oh, yep, you're right. Yep. I keep forgetting about him. But I'm gonna definitely say it's gonna be a Carlin car. But I'm gonna call Lease. How about you?
I'm gonna buck the trend on it. I'm gonna say Kyle Kaiser.
Ah, I like it.
The thing about Kaiser is that he won at Phoenix last year.
Yeah, and as far as like you said, tracks that are similar, Phoenix and this, right? So it's a very good educated pick there, my friend. But then again, does you guys have more than one Indy Lights?
Yeah, they have Kyle Kaiser and they have Nico DePero.
Do you see DePero being a factor?
I think that him being on Iowa Speedway, we'll see him finish better because it was a test at Lucas Oil Raceway last year that really brought out the driver in DePero. Ricardo Yukos told me at PRI last year that he felt like Nico lost the respect that he had for the Pro Mazda car which allowed him to push harder. At Lucas Oil Raceway last year, if you look at his results, that's where his season turned around.
Yeah, I mean, it always seemed to be the equalizer in USF 2000 Pro Mazda was that Lucas Oil. You know, a lot of fortunes changed there. You know.
Yeah.
And it pretty much sparks the midway of their season too. So you really want to be strong coming out of Lucas Oil Raceway, or you want to I think this weekend for USF I think is huge for Oliver for the for the championship. A few guys have really caught up to him. So, do you think Oliver has a chance though?
Absolutely. I mean, Cape is pretty good, and I'd say they have a really good shot at it. I mean, let's face it, they haven't gotten to the point where they are by being slouches.
No, that's definitely true, man. I mean, and let's just face it. I mean, Oliver has just that natural talent going for him as well, And he's very cool, calm, and collected. And you need to be cool, calm, and collected on an oval. Very patient, right?
Of course.
And Oliver has shown that that's what he is. So, yeah.
All right, so IndyCar.
Right on. IndyCar. Ooh, it's a toughie. It's a very toughie. I wouldn't say Newgarden so bad, but he's in a Penske. Penske's number one. Could it be the year Penske wins? I don't know. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say Rossi. Yeah, I'm taking Rossi.
I like it. It's a good pick. I'm going to say Hunter-Reay because I think that he's right for a rebound. He had a difficult season in 2015 before he won in Iowa, and quite frankly, that year he said he couldn't push in the car. Now I think he's going to have a turnaround.
Yeah, and I mean, didn't Newgarden pretty much, the rest of his season after Iowa last year was just pretty amazing, and I really think that his second half of the season last year for Carpenter and what he's shown that he could do. Well, actually, I'm going to take that back. From Road America on, including Iowa, and what he did right after Road America for last year, what he did, I think, landed him that Penske seat. What do you think?
He would be a great pick, in my opinion. I mean, he doesn't do what he did last year by being second best. I mean, when you also consider that he had a broken collarbone for a good portion of the season, that makes his driving more impressive.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. I mean, the man was hurt, and he was doing what he was doing. And that's just constant cheese on your body. I mean, he was in constant pain. And, I mean, the race, you think it's a 7/8 mile, and you think the race would go fast unless there's a bunch of yellows. But this race is really long. It really does get long, and I think that the more patient you are, the better your result's going to be there. So
the race is only long if you get a lot of yellow flags. If you get a long green flag run, that race goes by really, really quick.
Yeah, before you know it, you're like, wait, what lap are we on already? Whoa, we're more than halfway already? All right, so how about qualifying pole?
Let me go to randomnumbergenerator.com and see what it tells me.
I'm just going to throw out willpower for pole.
Let's see here.
And the computer says...
Number 9, Scott Dixon.
I'm going to say no. When's the last time Dixon even got a pole?
Let me see.
There's that mechanical keyboard.
I'm on my Mac. He won the pole at Indy this year, didn't he? Yeah, he won the pole at Indy.
Dixon did? Yes, that's right. He did. Okay.
I'm trying to see if he won the pole more recent than that. Let's see. Castroneves won the pole at Road America.
It seems like he Castro has won every pole but Indy this year. Long Beach, right?
See, Detroit. No, he didn't win either pole at Detroit. Yeah, Indianapolis was Dixon's last pole.
Okay. For a while, too.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, Dixon's not really a pole kind of guy. I mean, he always wins one or two a year, but it's not really his strong suit is qualifying. It's his strong suit is his racecraft during a race. And on an oval, does qualifying really mean all that much? Honestly.
When you have a 300 lap race, no, it doesn't.
But I'll tell you what, though, being at the race and going there for qualifying, there's nothing I love more, man, than being on pit lane and just, it's almost like seeing who can do the best burnout as they, take off. And I pretty much have every car taken off for qualifying for the last couple of years for Iowa, and everybody can find that on www.theindysportscarpodcast.com. Check it out there. And, where can they check you out there, Chris?
At C. DeHardy on Twitter and on Instagram.
Right on. So, looking forward to seeing you there, my friend.
Absolutely.
It's always a blast hanging out with you there.
Of course.
That's where I met you, actually. Back
2 years ago.
Yep. I'm like, who's this weird kid who's got a head like a mop and with glasses?
Well, now my hair is looking a lot better and I got a beard, so good luck with that.
Well, I know. You're even sexier now. So, we do got to touch on something. Now, we did a show on early Sunday morning with the co-host of the NRF1 podcast, Mr. Perry Hamilton. And very nice dude. Had a great time with him. One of our literally, Missy came out and big high five because it was like one of the, it was up there with one of the best shows that we've ever really done, really. And talking about, because that race at Baku it had everything you could ever want and more. Who'd ever thought Lance Stroll would podium ever, especially with what everybody was saying about him, but it happened. Everything happened in that race, and what Vettel did. Well, I want to get your opinion on that, Chris. What do you think the FIA, did enough, or should they have done more?
I think it's stupid how every single incident is being micro-analyzed like this. Let's face it.
I wouldn't say incident. He used his car as a form of a. You can't do that, dude. That's a big.
Well, to be fair, so did Ayrton Senna when he took out Prost at Suzuka in 1990, and yet Lewis Hamilton looks up to him like a god. Sebastian Vettel hits him after taking his hand off the wheel, trying to motion to him what the hell, when he's going like 25 miles an hour, and all of a sudden he's the worst driver ever. GTFOH. Let's face it.
No, not the worst driver ever. I'm not saying that.
Well, the most dangerous then. The reason why Vettel's car went to the right, in my opinion, he took his hand off the wheel and he was looking in that direction. If he doesn't take his hand off the wheel, or if he turns his car to the left first and then looks and then raises his hand, the car won't go to the right and no contact is made.
So you're saying that Hamilton slowing up where he did in the spot that he did was not the reason that Vettel hit him?
No, I'm saying that Vettel's car would not have veered to the right had Vettel steered his car to the left after the initial collision. I'm talking about when he's alongside of him.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because if you look at when the general rule of thumb is that your car goes where you're looking.
General rule of thumb, yes. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So that's why.
And he was looking right at Hamilton, right?
Which is why his car went that way.
So you're saying that Vettel actually didn't do it deliberately?
I don't think it was deliberate. I think.
Wow, I like this.
Now that being said, I think that there's been a massive overreaction, and people are basically losing their minds over this. And quite frankly, it's sad.
Well, it's not that sad. I mean, if he did it intentionally or he did it on purpose, it sure looked like it was on purpose, and that's kind of what people are really going to. So, and you really need to get the word out there, like, because little kids emulate these, they're their favorite heroes, right? And you don't want them getting in the carts and then all of a sudden, somebody does something they don't like, and then they just come up next to it and wham, you can't do that.
Hmm.
If you do not do that, so I guess what Vettel's gonna have to do, to promote not doing that now, is maybe a good thing. I mean, it's definitely a good thing, but yeah, I mean, so you're thinking that the FIA did just enough, and and
Everyone is just overreacting to this. I mean, let's face it. It's like, oh, we're going to do an investigation. Everything's going to be investigated. No, it doesn't. Let these drivers drive. I mean,
well, yeah,
it's
but
not what we're supposed to. Like, don't get me
it's
wrong.
only yellow.
Don't get me wrong. There are some things that should be investigated, but I think at some point you just have to realize that, hey, you know what? No one was expecting Lewis to be that slow at that portion of the track. So, I mean,
no, especially when he's leading the pack under yellow, because we all know he tries to make the pace car go as fast as humanly possible.
yeah.
So you're not expecting that, especially from Hamilton.
I don't think Hamilton's going to go that slow behind the safety car again.
Or maybe he's going to do it every race. But yeah. So, big. Well, no, never mind. It's not that big of a news anyway. Anyway, so but we did post what the FIA statement is, what Vettel, and what they pretty much came to a conclusion on and everything. And the conclusion is that let's see here. 10, they said that the 10-second penalty that was served was, was justified, right? But now Vettel has to what? He has to make a, written apology, and then he has to travel around to different lower junior Formula series and do like a seminar, I guess, or talks or whatever to all the younger classes on what not to do, I suppose. I mean, nothing but good can come out of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Whether he did it on purpose, whether he didn't. What it led to is just promoting more safety out there to the younger drivers. So, whether he did it on purpose, whether he didn't, I think is moot by this point. What came out of it, who knows? Somebody who maybe would have done that is not going to do that now in the near future. So, and I think promoting safety is a good thing.
Of course.
Which is a big reason why Perry was on with us on Sunday, because they were nice enough to let me on their show about a week and a half prior to talk about the auto flagging system, and that was good. It was a great show. So definitely check our buddies out there. I'm not going to say the cliche of where they are compared to where we are, because I hate that cliche. I hate that saying. So across the Atlantic in England, the NRF1 podcast, pretty much everywhere we are too. So check them out, guys. All right. Anything left to talk about? Really? I mean, nothing really happened this weekend except for what the past weekend was the sailing 6 hours at the Glen.
No, I didn't watch a lot of that race, honestly, because I was busy moving my stuff into the house up here.
Fair enough. And how about that GP? What did you hear about that GP3 Porsche not GP3,
GT3.
GT3. Sorry,
I saw like
I
I saw part of a YouTube video about it.
Well, you could definitely check it out on the New Sports Car Podcast fan page there. It's posted there. It's posted everywhere. We posted everywhere. You could check out the Audible Flagging System fan page. It's posted there. And I mean, how many times do you really hear of a race being canceled because of such a wreck? So,
not very often.
I mean, if you want to talk about secondary incidents happening because they just didn't know what was happening, there you go. How many cars? I forget. 7, 8. But it was a lot of carnage, a lot of wrecked cars, and a few guys taken to the hospital, which you never want to hear. But I do believe they're all going to be okay. So that's the last thing I've heard. Have you heard anything different?
Can't say that I have.
Well, then no news is good news, right?
I guess.
Well, when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, but definitely need to get safer out there. So, audible flagging would help. All right. So, but definitely check them out. I was in E174, so check me out there. And they're just really cool podcasts. They kind of like split the weekend up into threes with their show. So it's like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday thing. Well, I kind of like how it is. It's short and sweet, and you get through it, and then the next day, hey, there's another one. So, and who doesn't love content, right? So, anyways, definitely, I'm probably gonna, repost Sunday's, repost Sunday's show with Perry Hamilton, maybe a day or so from now, just to so everybody can hear it, because it was a really good show. Chris, you definitely got to listen, man. I don't know if you did or not, but it's okay if you didn't. You still have time because it's a podcast. But it was definitely a really good chat. So, and we went over a lot of things, not just the Vettel thing, because that was just one of many things that happened to Baku. I mean, different, trying to figure out different rules and why somebody could do something and all that good stuff. So, but don't want to get into it right now because it's a very long chat, and that's why we had a great, podcast with Perry Hamilton from the NRF1 podcast. So, all right, and don't miss Chris's articles at Motorsport Tribune. Just want to throw that out there.
MotorsportTribune.com. Do not type in www because you will not get a website.
What?
Yeah, don't type in www.motorsportstribune. You won't get a website. Just type in motorsportstribune.com and it comes up.
Well, there you go. So, and I mean, I don't ever put www, to be honest with you. I always just put whatever it is.
Some people do, and I'll tell you a long story about that when we get to Iowa.
Right on, because and you're gonna
because it's almost 2 a.m. right now.
Yep, and you're gonna keep me in suspense now, because I want to know why. So, anyways, Chris, I think on that note, and if there's anything else you want to promote or throw out there. All right, I think we did a pretty good job covering what's going on and what's going to be coming up, man. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
And on that note, as Missy usually says, you know that I know that Chris knows that me never knows.
No.
You know.